this several times. I'd come back the next day and say, well, I don't know, maybe I made a mistake, and same story over and over. And then I used this one, and it worked, and then it stopped.
Or normal?
The normal.
Which one's been working consistently?
Pretty sure.
Express wash, perhaps?
Yeah, or maybe this small load thing.
Load.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the main issue is that it's not filling with water.
Right.
So bearings bearings are good.
Yeah.
Drive motor's good. Generated electricity. Door latch are good. At control, quick wash function, estimated based off fresh wash, hollow to ground, door lock, pump.
Yeah, that's a pump, right? Is that what you said?
That's the pump,
Yeah.
clearing out dirty water.
I hear that every time.
Doesn't sound like it's a bad impeller or a broken propeller. Water valve just received ground. Pressure switch, sensory network for tumbling the clothes. Now it's going to add more water. Once pressure has been satisfied, then it'll turn the water valve off like it just did. Other than the motor control board, sending power to the motor jerky. Alright, so the complaint was water not entering, so we got water to enter an express wash. We can drain this out by another, see if that cycle will.
Okay, I'm going to lead you to it.
Okay.
Something in the oven.
Drain is clogged slightly. Cavitation. Dry pump sounds good. In terms of componentries in sequence and operation, everything appears to be normal. I just want to pump the water out. Now let's see if it'll fill up with water on a different cycle selection. Express wash was used. Now let's try normal wash. Warm water, select water level normal. On the complaint, I see that the clean wash is selected. Clean wash cycle. I think that's a, in a moment, let's see if it's going to fill with water. Door lock's good. Drum is rotating, censoring load. Water valve is on, received the ground. Water's entering into wash machine. Pressure switch has been satisfied. Water valve is turned on again due to pressure switch. Motors agitating back and forth instead of rotating. Complaint is water's not entering into wash. Maybe on the rinse cycle. So let's try rinse and spin. The initial wash cycle, washer tests good. So complaint is water's not entering into washer. Verified 2 cycles are working properly. And let's drain. And then we'll try another cycle. We'll do a small load cycle. And so we'll do a spin and drain, pump the water out. One more cycle for comparison. Drain sounds normal. Pump out sounds normal. Water's drained out. Alright, so we'll try a rinse. A rinse and spin cycle. Let's see here. Rinse and spin. That's rinse and spin is a cold water cycle only. It doesn't use warm water. It uses cold only. Your other cycle selections initially will use water selection, hot, warm, and cold. And so spin only uses cold water for any cycle. And water is entering into washing machine. So this has an 18-minute estimate of completion. And so we're gonna go ahead and let the 18-minute expire. Let it go through the cycle, see if it'll complete the cycle, and that'll at least tell me in process of elimination that the initial cycles work in normal and express wash, and that's in 2 different selections. And then if this completes the rinse cycle, that tells me that the rinse cycle will complete at the end of the cycle of every selection after your wash cycle. So we'll let this finish adding water and agitating. Mental note, the rinse cycle is filling up with more water than the previous selections of the other pre-selections, which was your normal and express wash. Rinse seems to be adding more water into the tub and volume than the other 2 in comparison. But water is entering into the unit on all selections. This has a 15-minute cycle duration. I'll let this finish out its duration and then see if it'll complete the cycle. That'll conclude my water test. Rinse cycle appears to test normal, so we're just going to go through a quick preventative maintenance check, and then we'll conclude this diagnostics. And so basically the door lock is healthy, door lock is good. The water actuator in the dispenser and rotating the actuator motor for the switchology to allow the water valve to turn on, that checked good. The water valve that came on and filled up with water, filled the washer with water, that checked good. Water valve shut off, which then allowed the washer to agitate. Agitation tests good. And after the duration of agitation, then you get a water pump out. Now the water has a duration of time in which it has to exit the washer within a reasonable amount of time before it turns the washer off. Now you might have a slow pump out, and that's what I'm checking right now for the duration of water exiting out of the washer. Is very important, so when it goes to a high RPM, it has a balanced centrifugal spin. The drain appears to test good. And now it's going to go into a high RPM spin, so I'll be checking the bearing, the drum, making sure that it's spinning centrifugally and not hitting anything, such as your outer tub or your door boot gasket. And also it's not swaying side to side, causing it to induce a out of balance load. That's what I'll be looking for when it go into a high RPM spin. All the cycles have tested good, from door lock to water valve to water valve turning off to agitation to drain, now spin. All functions appear normal. Could be a load issue. Variable of close is the question. Could be an out of balance load, shutting the washer off, but the complaint is that water was not entering. And so all other probable causes of why the clothes are not finishing the cycle, that's the only thing I can think of, is a variable of close. I would say use it, monitor it for about 6 months or so, and then try to draw a conclusion of consistency of what it's doing and in what cycle that it's doing it in. And at the time that it's not completing the cycle, either at the beginning of the cycle in the wash cycle or towards the end of the cycle in the rinse and spin. But in terms of preventative maintenance, this washer tests good. Kenmore washer complaint: washer's not allowing water to enter into washing machine. Did a preventative maintenance, checked all components of the water system, electrical system, and drive system. Washer appears to test good. All associated components that's associated to the water system have been verified and checked good, which would be the door lock switch, making sure that the door lock is secured to make sure the door is not opening when water is entering, or water will not enter into the washing machine. Dispenser drawer, making sure that there's no obstruction in the dispenser drawer water flow, to make sure that water is entering into washing machine with no obstruction. Also then checking the pressure switch, making sure water is turning off, and then allowing the washer to agitate and spin, drain, then spin. All tests good. The probable cause components that would affect the washer from allowing water to enter into the washing machine, which would be your water valve, which would be your control board, and also can be a door lock issue. And so we'll call parts, verify if those parts are available, and see what those parts would run retail. And then we can verify if this would have been a worthy repair or replacement. At this time, it just seems to be non-consistent with the complaint. I would monitor the usage of the washer for about 2 to 3 weeks. It could be a closed distribution issue, which would be the variable. without clothes. The washer ran and completed every cycle.
Just several times. I'd come back the next day and say, well, I don't know, maybe I made a mistake.
Also, the drain
Same story
pump.
over and over. And then
Water exiting out of the
I used
washer
this
within
one, and it worked.
a reasonable amount of time so that the RPMs can be reached in a high RPMs and a large load capacity. The drain pump allows the water to get pumped out of the washer within a reasonable amount of time.
Okay. And so
So your drain pump also tests good.
It's not filling with
Visual-
water.
Right.
Visual and
Bearings
physical
appears to
inspection.
be- Bearings are good.
Yeah.
Drive motor's good. Generated electricity.